The NFL offseason is in full swing, and one of the biggest stories right now is the future of Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. A new report from Vic Tafur of The Athletic suggests that the Las Vegas Raiders could be a serious contender to trade for Stafford. Stafford, now 37, has been the heart of the Rams offense since they traded for him in 2021. His impact was immediate, leading the team to a Super Bowl victory in his first season. But now, questions are swirling about his long-term future in Los Angeles. Adding to the uncertainty, the Rams have reportedly given Stafford's agent permission to explore trade options. While both Stafford and the team have publicly stated they want to continue their partnership, the lack of progress on a contract extension has fueled speculation. At the center of it all is Stafford's contract. He signed a 4-year, $160 million deal in March 2022, which was set to run through the 2026 season. However, in July 2024, the deal was restructured. Of the $160 million, $130 million was guaranteed, with $63 million fully guaranteed at signing. The latest revision essentially turned his deal into a 1-year, $40 million contract for the 2024 season. With the Rams giving Stafford's camp the green light to explore trade options, all eyes are now on whether he stays in LA or finds a new home for the next chapter of his career. With reduced guarantees in his contract, Matthew Stafford is now in a tricky situation. He gave up his 2025 guarantees, and for the remaining 2 years of his deal, he's only locked in for a $4 million roster bonus in 2025. That's the biggest issue. He's only guaranteed $4 million over the next 2 seasons, and he's going to want that fixed. From a performance standpoint, though, Stafford is still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. If the Raiders can pull off a trade, it would be a huge win for them. Of course, this is all hypothetical right now. Stafford and the Rams still seem to want to make things work, but the team is likely letting him test the market to gauge his value before they head back to the negotiation table. But if Stafford and the Rams can't reach an agreement, the Raiders should absolutely try to make a move. Among all the free agent and trade options out there, Stafford is the best available quarterback. Yes, he's getting older, but he's still got at least 2 solid years left in him. He's a proven winner, a Super Bowl champion, and a true gunslinger. Let's not forget, just last season, Stafford and the Rams nearly took down the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. If it weren't for the brutal snowstorm that made conditions miserable, they might have pulled off the upset. Even in those tough conditions, Stafford showed why he's still got what it takes. Matthew Stafford proved last season that he can still perform at an elite level. He threw for over 300 yards in key games and showed he has plenty left in the tank. For the Raiders, upgrading the quarterback position is a priority, and Stafford would be a clear improvement. Despite his age, he remains highly effective. In 2024, he threw for 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, and just 8 interceptions while leading the Rams to an NFC West title. However, if the Raiders pursue Stafford, they'll need to be smart about the trade. Given his contract situation, they shouldn't give up too much. At most, maybe a 3rd-round pick. That's because any team that acquires him will need to rework his contract and provide more guaranteed money. Right now, Stafford has 2 years left on his deal, with a massive $49 million cap hit in 2025 and $53 million in 2026. Any team trading for him will have to find a way to add guaranteed money while managing the cap. The good news for the Raiders? They currently have the 2nd most cap space in the NFL. Plus, the league recently increased the salary cap by about $22 million. However, they also have several key free agents to consider bringing back, and they'll need to allocate money wisely. On top of that, a contract restructure for star pass rusher Max Crosby might be necessary, as he currently has no guaranteed money left on his deal. So, while a Stafford trade could make sense, the Raiders will have to balance their spending carefully. Max Crosby is one of the best players on the Raiders roster, and without guaranteed money in his contract, it's unlikely he'll take the field until that issue is resolved. While the Raiders have plenty of cap space, they need to spend wisely, making every financial move a delicate balance. One major question is whether the Raiders should aggressively pursue Matthew Stafford. Some teams, like Pete Carroll's Seahawks, might also be in the mix. With Carroll nearing the end of his coaching career and only 3 years left on his contract, he might push for a quick turnaround, making a move for Stafford possible. From a football perspective, Stafford is still a high-level quarterback. If the Raiders can secure him on a manageable 2-year deal with guaranteed money, he could be the answer at quarterback for at least the next 2 seasons. This would also give the team flexibility in the draft. With Stafford in place, the Raiders wouldn't need to reach for a quarterback in the first round. Instead, they could focus on taking the best player available, strengthening other key areas of the roster. Bringing in Matthew Stafford would give the Raiders more flexibility in the draft. They wouldn't have to rush into selecting a quarterback right away, giving them time to find the right young talent, whether this year or next, to develop as Stafford's eventual successor. That said, a trade for Stafford still feels like a long shot. The most likely outcome is that he and the Rams find common ground and agree on a revised deal. Letting his agent explore trade options seems like a strategic move by the Rams to gauge his market value before heading back to the negotiating table. However, if talks break down, the Raiders could step in and make a move. It's an interesting situation to watch, but nothing is set in stone yet. What do you think, Raider Nation? Would you want Stafford in silver and black? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you love Raiders content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates. See you in the next one.